after that game, we see Sam Darnold lead Seattle to the win, throw for 350-plus yards, 3-plus touchdowns. Does this change your outlook on him in any way? Because it felt like coming into the season and even coming into the playoffs, he was seen as a liability. Can't really live up in the big games, but he's a good regular season quarterback, if not high variance. But what do you think about him now? He's on the verge of a Super Bowl title.
The reality of what Sam Darnold's truth is, it really says more about the person doing the evaluating at this point than it does about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, over the last 2 seasons, has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, period, stop. Right? I, just like everybody else, was walking into that Minnesota thing where he's going to be the starting quarterback. All right, if you feel good about that, Kevin O'Connell, and sure, after week 2 or week 3 or week 4, things started to, but after a while, you have got to be, after a while, you cannot keep lying to your eyes, right? I remember Sam Darnold as a New York Jet and all of that, right? I know Todd Bowles, his head coach, you've seen head coach success now in Tampa Bay, but did not have it in New York, right? And that was a long stretch. But Jeremy Bates as OC, Darryl Loggins as OC. You know what those guys do in the NFL now? They don't. They do nothing in the NFL now. They do not have NFL jobs currently, right? When Sam Darnold was coached appropriately, we have seen nothing but success out of that guy, all right? This is true for most players in the NFL. The only difference with Sam Darnold and the rest of everybody else, we saw him with the Jets. We saw him not be able to be Superman, okay? Sam Darnold's not Joe Burrow. He's not going to change your franchise's pathway and future just by appearing. Okay, he's not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes. But what he is a guy that you can win a hell of a lot of games with if you provide him with just a little bit of infrastructure, which is, I feel, to be true for most NFL quarterbacks, right? The difference, what makes Sam special is Sam has arm talent out of this world, right? Now, decision-making, I get it, questionable. But the arm talent is out of this world. So when you see a guy like Sam Darnold, he really, truly reminds me a lot of a guy like Josh Allen, who has obviously the utmost amount of talent. Josh Allen has so much talent when it comes to football, just size, speed, arm talent. It's out of this world. The decision-making has always been questionable with Josh Allen. Now, you saw him after year 3 or 4, really be able to hone in on that. And you said, man, it's almost like a batter who hits a ton of home runs and hits a ton of doubles but strikes out a lot. As soon as Josh Allen stopped turning the ball over so much, it's like, man, this guy really might be the best player in the NFL. And you had people saying that all over the place. Then as soon as that turnover bug comes back, it's like, all right, hold on. So that's really what it is. It's like at his peak, he could be one of the best. At his lowest, he can be, the 15th or something like that? Because you're turning the ball over that much, you're really costing your team. That's Sam Darnold.
We've seen him at his lowest, and it was a hell of a lot lower than 15. He was, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. But I do see your point here, because when you put this guy with a good infrastructure around him, this might seem hyperbolic to say, but just from a raw physical football standpoint, what does Josh Allen really have that Sam Darnold doesn't? And I get maybe a little more stronger of an arm, maybe a little better rushing ability, but just in terms of he's big, he's physical, he's got a ton of arm talent, questionable decision making. They are very comparable players, which is ironic because they're from the same draft class. I just wonder now if Josh Allen is a guy who's just unanimously seen as someone who's worth that top-of-the-market contract. I don't know where he currently ranks. He might be the highest-paid quarterback right now. I'm sorry, I don't have that in front of me.
Dak Prescott's the highest-paid quarterback right now.
Dak Prescott, correct.
Josh is in a group. Josh is right below Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, the $57 million crew.
He's in that blue-chip tier, though, is the point, right?
Absolutely.
One of the market-leading guys. So if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl here, does he warrant that?
The benefit of what Seattle has done is it doesn't matter. They've got him on a 3-year deal. He's already locked up for 2 more years, right?
But you do know that the best franchises always get out ahead of this stuff. So if they fully win the Super Bowl this year, I feel like they would give him some kind of an extension, no?
So let's put a pin on the best one. Let's put a pin on that on the extension for right now, because that gets to another point. I think about a greater point about Seattle. Okay. The thing that to finish the Darnold Allen thing with Josh Allen, you are going to have 10 wow plays a game. Those can either be wow, that was amazing. Only 6 people on the planet could even think about doing that, or wow, that just killed us, right? And with Sam, what you see the Seahawks doing, what the Bills did for a while and got away from, the Seahawks have all types of weapons on offense. They could with JSN and the running game, and then also special teams. They end up. Seattle only needs 3 first downs to score touchdowns because of their special teams, their kicking unit, their punting unit, as opposed to teams that will need 4 and 5 first downs, like the Rams, because they are not looking for explosives in other places, right? Buffalo is the same. Buffalo got too Josh Allen reliant, and too many of their wow plays went the other way. There's a perfect balance right now in Seattle where they are getting all of the good wow out of Sam Darnold and mitigating his strikeouts, right? They're mitigating his strikeouts. Sam's the same guy. He's the same guy he was in Minnesota, who got sacked 6 times by the Rams. He's the same guy he was in New York. Right now, he's gotten better, obviously. But he's the same guy. The decision-making is still questionable. It's just we're going to make your decision so easy that you are not going to have to make a question. And the difference between Sam and what some of the other quarterbacks in the NFL have is that ability to have that wow play, right? And that's what sets Sam apart from, like, you know, some of the other. That's what sets Sam apart and puts him closer to a guy like a Josh or Patrick Mahomes or a Lamar Jackson. Not there, but closer to there than your average starting quarterback, because they have that wow. Now,
yeah,
to point you're making about Seattle, right, and the contract extension for Sam Darnold, I think we have to have a real conversation about John Schneider as a top 3 executive in this league.
Yeah.
He's moved off of, in summation, and this is just a short off the top of the head list, he has moved off of Russell Wilson. He's moved off of Geno Smith. He moved off of DK Metcalf. He moved off of Tyler Lockett. He moved off of Bobby Wagner. He moved off of Richard Sherman. And every single one of those moves worked.
Yeah. Every
single one of those moves benefited Seattle more than it benefited the other team that took them, right? When you look at that's the craziest things about these. This is not a Jared Goff, Matt Stafford type of deal where, like, both were impactful for the other team. No, Russell Wilson left Seattle and immediately became one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. Geno Smith left Seattle and immediately became one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL, right? John Schneider has, so I say this, getting Sam Darnold at 3 years for $100 million guaranteed, the Baker Mayfield deal, is a steal. Whatever deal he's able to work out with Sam, I imagine, will be, at this point, I trust John Schneider to be able to figure this out.
Yeah.
And if he's at a position where he says, look, I'm going to move off of Sam, you know what? Hey, you have the benefit of the doubt for me, at least today.
Yeah, even hiring Mike McDonald, you have to assume that he was in charge of the coaching search. I'm sure he was, because he's been there longer than him. And yeah,
the way it went down to Seattle is John Schneider and Pete Carroll wanted more power, roster personnel, so on and so forth. John Schneider won the power battle, right? Mm-hmm. So John Schneider was definitely in on hiring Mike McDonald.